do we get most of the data from the plant itself? Right, so we have to do more, we have to use the assets, the equipment in the plant that is existing today to maximize the usability of the data, to optimize the asset performance, to increase the lifespan, and of course to have a better return on investment, to reduce the breadth of the possibilities to send engineers or the experts to go to the field. So primarily what we can do is that we want to embrace the remote access counter services to facilitate the collaborations of the subject matter experts around the world virtually, and can support to perform the troubleshooting, the engineering and the maintenance services in the shortest possible time. And in the way, it can help to reduce or to eliminate the problems resolution time. And it can also moving from reactive to the proactive kind of the problem resolutions. So the secure remote services forms the critical foundation. So it serves as so-called the key pillars to build the security foundations to enable the building blocks, such as, for example, how well we can effectively perform the lifecycle planning services for the equipment that we set in the plant. And how can we utilize the shortest possible time to do or deliver the maintenance services? And how do we do it effectively in a way whereby it will not cause any human hazards, human safety concern, and in a way it can be done in the very secure way. Through the use of the remote services, it can also facilitate the subject matter experts to perform the health monitoring services remotely in a very secure manners, and of course to determine about the technology refresh kind of the lifecycle services. Okay, connecting to the right people to the specific devices. And there are so many different brands of the devices that we set in the plant today. And how do we facilitate the subject matter experts of all these different suppliers to gain access to the right desired services or the desired devices with the most privileged access control? So all this has to be taken into consideration as part of the cybersecurity design philosophy in the plant to facilitate the best mix of the collaborations. So as you can see in this particular chart over here, one is without the secure remote services versus the benefits of embracing the secure remote services. As you can see that the duration for the downtime of a particular critical operating asset has been tremendously reduced for the case of the secure remote services as versus to the other scenario. And so what it means is that you do not have to send engineers to go to the site, and that will also incur costs, safety for the humans, and of course longer time to react to the situations. So if we can do it remotely in a safe way, we can reduce the amount of the resolution time in the shortest possible way, and we can even contain and control all this kind of the testing information as a big data information for usabilities of the knowledge, kind of the sharing, and to sustain the business in the foreseeable futures as well. So what are the challenges in terms of the collaboration based on the current situations? So from the end user perspective, from the maintenance operations, it is very painful to manage multiple vendor access. So in a typical plant, so you have multiple vendors environments. So, and in a way we are exposing multiple conduits for the hackers to hack into the plant or the refinery itself. Moving into the OEM kind of the context. The OEM are struggling to convince the CIO, the CTO of the companies to allow them to facilitate the remote access kind of the capabilities. From the IT-OT kind of the fusion strategies point of view, it is also difficult for the IT-OT people to manage the networks in a very effective way. It is very difficult to utilize the navigation of the scenarios, and it is very difficult to find the tools that is of the right desired security attributes or capabilities to achieve the best of the both worlds. And how do we address all these challenges? So all these challenges can be addressed in three folds, depending on the context of the stakeholders. So from the end user's perspective, the pain point of the issues can be addressed through the use of the single remote access kind of the solutions to facilitate multiple stakeholders, vendors in this case, suppliers, the contractors, the employees, the customers, to have a single remote access conduit to gain access to all the multiple devices with the least privileges and in a fast and secure way. So it can be done through a few mechanisms, like for example the access control list, and we have the definitions of the granularity on the device level access, and having a secure kind of the two-factor authentications for the remote access infrastructure to be in place. Moving into the OEM kind of the system integrators or solution providers perspective. The secure remote solutions, of course, it has to be adaptable, it has to be flexible, and of course, having the capabilities to do audit trails, video recordings, etc., so that all this can be trackable. It can achieve the compliance in terms of the FDA regulations, especially for the case of the pharmaceutical industry, and 21 CFR Part 11 standard compliance for the case of the F&B industry context, like for example Nestle, P&G, etc. So from the end user graphical user interface, this is of critical importance because without a good kind of the navigation interface, it is difficult for the people to embrace the remote access kind of the capabilities or even the usabilities. So we have to make things very easy and simplified to use so that it can facilitate all the collaborations to work to be done in a very effective way. Right, so what is the key takeaway? So moving forward, the directions of the Industry 4.0, the Society 5.0, and the IoT, and our own branding of the Synaptic Business Automation. The remote operations is the way to go. Alright, because it entails many benefits in terms of realizing the cost reductions, driving better efficiencies, driving better productivities, and of course, we need to have a right methodology. We need to have the right desired framework to deliver and to deploy the secure remote services to achieve the scalabilities in terms of the value propositions for the applications, to do it in a very secure way, and of course to ensure safety as part of the philosophy. Like so for example, safety and security has been closely intertwined together. And for the case of the Nach, Nach has also released a paper in terms of the standardization for the amalgamations of the safety and security as part of the standards in the industry today. And likewise for IEC 62443, so this is the standards also mandated by the US governments alongside together with NIST. So all these kind of the committees are driving towards these kind of the revolutions to make sure that okay, security is the way to go, to lay the foundations, to achieve the values of the Industry 4.0, to make life better, to make the world better, and of course to do this differently. And you can see that how they have delivered the services in terms of the connectivity of all the remote sites back to the central locations, and how they're moving into the application cloud-based services, and how it transpires into kind of the value propositions for the companies. That entails a lot of these so-called the stories for many other end users communities to embrace. All these are some of the case studies that has enriched a lot of these values for the customers to be replicated based on the references that we have accumulated for the past, and the similar kind of the benefits can also be imparted for the rest of the end users communities also.